beautifuls, this is Aromie here. Welcome back to Plane. We are here having a crisis because we don't know our role in this society. And it kind of sucks because I'm pretty sure everyone deals with this once or multiple times in their life. And I've dealt with it multiple times in my life, so I can totally relate. Alright, sorry. Everyone's blowing up my phone. I feel like whenever I start to record, everyone in the world wants to suddenly like message me. But anywho, I need to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, let's continue on. There was no point in unpacking everything. I might not even make it to pass the trial. I mean, wait, she had more stuff? I sat on the edge of the bed and stared at my feet. Cecilia's words from the other day echoed in my mind. Hardly anybody passes the trial, because I'm pretty sure none of them really knew what they wanted to do either. A tear slipped down my cheek, and before I could wipe it away, another one followed. Before I knew it, I was sobbing into my palms, with only one thought racing through my mind. I'm going to die. Maybe that's why those other people didn't make it either, because they're constantly like, they didn't know what their purpose was, and the only thought was that they're just gonna go back to die. I raised my head from the pillow groggily and rubbed the sleep out of my eyes. I must have fallen asleep while crying. I sat up and let out a groan as my head started pounding. Standing up, I walked to the door and slowly opened it. I wasn't sure what time it was, but I didn't want to take the chance to wake Max up if she had work tomorrow. Good morning, Sleeping Beauty. Oh. Max lounged on a couch in her living room, casually flipping through the channels on her TV. Oh, to you too. She frowned and I felt like closing in on myself. Did I make her angry? Sorry, I just thought you would have been asleep. She shrugged. Don't worry about it, Riles. I'm just in a bad mood. Cecilia has really been up my ass recently about... She paused and made eye contact with me, then shook her head and let out a small smile. Oh, a small laugh. Never mind, it doesn't really matter. Have you thought about what you're going to do for the trial? No. My gaze dropped to my feet as it bit my lip. I'm really worried. I shuffled my feet and sighed. I'm really worried, Max. My voice caught her off guard and she sat up a bit. Don't sound so sad, Riles. You still have time to figure this out. Are you feeling any better? You've been asleep since yesterday. Wait, what? What day is it? The 4th. It's the 5th. Hello? My breath hitched in my throat and I had to stop myself from asking her to reiterate. I came here on the 1st, so... Wait, well, I slept for pretty much 24 hours. Max lets out a laugh. We've had a rough few days. It's alright, Riles. Come sit and we can watch TV. Actually, if you want, we can play a board game. She perked up and I couldn't help but smile myself. You still have board games? Sure do. My favorite is this role-playing one called Ilaria, I'm assuming. Have you heard of it? No way! I used to play that all the time with my mom and dad. Then let's get to it, cutie. I thought we were supposed... Can you help me find my purpose in life? You're on. Max gets up from the couch and walks to her bedroom. She backs a minute later with a familiar purple box. Usually I like to play with more people, but some one-on-one time wouldn't be too bad. She gave me a charming smile and I stopped for a second. Was she flirting with me? I don't know, is that flirting? I don't know. I shook my head at myself and smiled again. There's no way. Are you coming, Riles? She was already setting up the game at the counter in the kitchen. I trotted into the room. You ready to get your butt kicked? Is that a challenge? Definitely. I sat at the stool across from her and the game started. Though Max was a worthy opponent, I reigned champion and won the game by finding a lost sword, saving the princess. The game was a good distraction, and by the end of it, I was laughing and having fun, almost as if I belonged here. I found myself thinking that if this game was a viable option for a skill to show off at the trial, I would be a shoo-in to stay. But unfortunately, it wasn't. Max and I played a few more rounds, and eventually she excused herself. She had a hard day at work and needed some alone time, and I found myself once again drowning in my own thoughts. I let out a groan and buried my face deeper into the pillows. I was starting to get lazy and I couldn't decide if I hated it or not. Riles, I'm leaving! I ran out of bed and stepped over to the door, opening it a crack and peeking out. Have a good day. Thanks, girlie. The next thing I heard was the front door closing softly. I stepped out of the bedroom Max had so kindly let me stay in until my trial and wandered into the living room. I looked around aimlessly. I wasn't even sure what I should do. My eyes wandered into the kitchen and curiosity grew within me. Max did say that they'd sometimes eat fast food here. Maybe she had some. I found myself growing hopeful. I had been sitting around for 5 days, sleeping and mooching off of Max's kindness. I could repay her by making a nice dinner. I knew I was being too optimistic, but I walked into the kitchen and started exploring anyways. The most obvious place to check was her fridge, and inside I discovered some leafy greens and a few salvageable vegetables scattered here and there. And then on a sign of relief and grew excited. I could definitely make a salad out of this. I checked the cupboards quick and discovered a few more lucky finds: oil, vinegar, herbs. Finally, I found myself staring at a box of nutrient blocks and I gave it a small glare. I still couldn't believe they called this food. It was pretty insulting, but maybe I could do something with it. I placed the box beside the rest of the ingredients I gathered and bit my lip. Max would probably be on her way back from work by now, so if I wanted to surprise her, I would need to hurry. Yeah, because her work is legit only an hour. I rummaged through the drawers and found a good enough knife and cutting board. I noted that she had kept her pans under the sink and started deftly chopping vegetables and tossing them into the bowls. Most of the vegetables were pretty sad looking and they didn't make the ideal salad. I read onion, tomatoes, some corn, and of course lettuce. I should have made salsa. I bit my lip inside. Too late for that now. My eyes strayed to the box of nutrient blocks again, and a brilliant idea comes into mind. I turned behind me and grabbed a pan and put it on high heat before filling it with oil. After I was sure the oil was heated up, I turned back to the counter and pulled a block out of the box, then plopped down to the cutting board. It jiggled for a second. I had to choke back a gag. Gently, I sliced into the block and was elated when it cut cleanly. After cubing the block into even pieces, I threw some oil and herbs on them. Carefully, I placed the cube onto the oil to test it, and as soon as the sizzle was satisfying, I would throw the rest of the pieces in. It only took a few minutes until they crisped up, and I scooped them out with a fork. They would make suitable croutons. At least I hoped. I carefully popped one into my mouth and took a tentative bite. The herbs added a nice amount of flavor, and frying them crisped up the outside enough to add a decent amount of texture. The heat had made the inside chewy, almost cheese-like, and though it was an odd texture, I found it much more edible than its raw form. Now I just need dressing. I bit my lip again and turned to what remained on the counter. Oil and vinegar, but what could I use to flavor it? I poured some of the oil and vinegar into a jar, and as my eyes scanned the counter, there was some of those herbs left. I sprinkled some in and closed the jar, then gave it a good shake and started to clean up my mess. I was almost drooling at the thought of real food. Exactly on time, the front door opened and Max stepped in. "Miles, I'm home!" "Hey!" I stood in the kitchen doorway and gave her a small smile. "You're up!" "Wow!" I am so shook. She gave me a teasing smile and plopped down on her couch. "Are you hungry?" She let out a loud sigh, followed by a hum. "Definitely." "Great!" "You're in a pretty good mood." Max sounded tired, and for a moment I was worried she wouldn't want the salad. I shook my head as if to chase away the anxious thoughts and grabbed the food I prepared, then brought it out into the living room. "What's this?" "I made salad." "Oh, that's really nice of you, Riles." Her face fell as she said it, and she almost looked disgusted. My breath hitched in my throat. I wasn't sure if you'd like it, but... "Don't look so sad, Riles. A cute girl made me food. It'd be a sin not to eat it." She stuck her tongue out and gave me a playful smile. "Thank you. Here, I try to make croutons out of a nutrition block." I passed her the small dish and she raised an eyebrow. "That's creative. Thanks. There's dressing too. Looks like you put a lot of effort into it." "Thanks, Riles. It isn't a problem. I was worried you wouldn't have anything to make real food. I'm actually surprised you found all of this." She prepared a salad and I followed suit. I was so ready to dig in. I watched Max from the corner of my eye and waited nervously for her to take a bite. As soon as she did, she perked up and took another. "Whoa, Riles, this is really good." "Really?" I grinned proud. "Where did you get the dressing?" "I made it." "You made it?" "Yeah, I'm a chef after all, or at least I was going to be one." "That's a job you're going to Paris for." "Yeah. Riley, this is it." "This is what?" She shoved another forkful of salad into her mouth and explains through bites. "This is what you can show off at your trial. Cooking." "I thought you didn't like real food." "Riley?" She turned and looked me dead in the eye. "If you can make a salad taste this good, you can make anybody like food." "Trust me, with skills like these, you'll definitely get to stay." Max's confidence rubbed off on me, and I gave her a wide smile. "Alright, then that's what I'll do." I took a bite of the salad and smiled. It was pretty good. Once we finished eating, Max tidied up the dishes and put a movie on for us to watch. She had the next day off of work, and we ended up staying up later than usual. I went to bed first, for the first time since I got here, and for the first night, I rested soundly. I forgot she didn't know why I went to Paris, right? She didn't know. That's why she was like kind of amazed. As soon as I woke up, I got dressed and walked into Max's living room. I had decided last night that I would stop hanging around Max's house. If I was going to live in the future, then it was time for me to start getting out more. I considered eating breakfast, but even after living in the future for a week, I couldn't bring myself to willingly eat the nutrition blocks. So I ended up just sitting on Max's couch and waiting for her. She was usually up earlier than this, but apparently Mondays were hard for her. She had been up pretty late last night. Max spent most of the weekend out of the apartment, but last night she came home early and watched a few of the movies from my time together. She seemed to enjoy action movies more than anything, and when I suggested we should watch a horror film, she denied it straight away. I couldn't help but laugh. I never imagined Max would be scared of a movie, especially considering her job, going to the past and exploring dangerous situations where everyone's eventually gonna die in that time too. She willingly put herself on a plane that she knew would crash. She's living a horror movie. Oh, hey, Riley. She stepped out of the hallway, still stretching. Good morning. Did you eat? No. Her face fell and she rolled her eyes. Remind me to go buy you some fast food sometime soon. Thank you. She waved her hand and laughed. I haven't done anything yet. But I gotta go. Cecilia will eat me alive if I'm late. I want to come with you. I jumped off the couch and faced her, trying to look eager. Wait, really? I nodded. Every time that flower is behind her, I keep thinking she's holding it, but that flower is in like a vase. I nodded my head a few times and she snickered. And here I thought you were one of those weird anime girls. What? No, shut up. Oh, you totally are. I thought Cecilia would eat you if you're late. I couldn't help but pout. Watching anime was only a hobby. Okay. Ah, crap. Okay, Rails, let's head out. She walked towards me and linked her arm in mine. I haven't even had time to watch anime. The only time I watch anime is when Tyler and I actually get time to lay in bed and watch anime. And the most recent anime we're watching is My Hero. And I'm trying to say the other word. My brother just told me to say Academy because I can't say it. Together we made our way out, and by the way, Shoto is amazing. He has my love. Together we made our way out of the building and outside into the bustle of the city, then onto the monorail. I love this thing. What thing? The monorail. Why? She shrugs and smiles casually. Dunno. It only takes a few minutes to get to the store in HQ, and Max jumps off of the train. I had to hurry to follow her, and we make our way outside. Or inside. Alright, Riles, I won't be long. Feel free to look around. I'll find you soon enough. Have a good day. Max gives me a smile and a thumbs up, then hurries off to work. I find myself traveling around the clean building, and I can't help but smile. Everything is so pretty. I zoned out for a minute, but was soon brought back to reality. Oh, ouch! Oh, it's the guy again! Sorry! The young man that I saw going into Cecilia's office last week backs up and rubs his chest. I'm so sorry, I was kind of in a rush. No, I shouldn't have been standing there. You shouldn't have, but you were. I should have seen you. I don't know if to be offended or not. Sorry. Don't worry about it. He looks up to offer me a smile. Oh, you're Max's latest catch. Why are you saying it like that? Riley, right? Yeah? Latest catch? I bit my lip and knit my eyebrows together. Max did bring a lot of people back. What if I was just another picture on the wall to her? I just meant the latest person she's brought back from the future. From the past, I think that's what he meant. I'm Brad. It's nice to meet you. Well, nice to meet you too, Brad. He shoves his hand towards me for a handshake, and I flinch back before lightly complying. Are you waiting for Max? Yeah. She's going to be a while. I was actually hoping to bump into her before she left, but I guess I won't make it. Cecilia had a few more missions for her, but hey! Have you seen the library? I haven't. You should check it out. If you go to the teleportation pad and say library, you'll get there. Oh, thank you. Of course, I had to go though. Goodbye. Good luck, Riley. Not goodbye. Thanks. We waved each other off and I walked over to the teleporter. Library. The next moment, I'm standing in a room that is filled with a familiar scent of old pages. I was surprised that they still had books as opposed to e-books. Stepping onto the soft carpeted floor of the library, I scanned the shelves that I could see. Each shelf had a label: 2000, 2015, 2030, or 2030. Were those years the books were written, or were those the years the books were about? I stepped up to the shelf labeled 2030 and scanned through the titles. It seemed like they were each about events that happened in those years. There were diaries, photo albums, and regular history books. One that was simply named Alaska caught my attention. I pulled it off of the shelf. Canada and Alaska. I flipped through the book, scanning the pages quickly. Canada took Alaska? I didn't even realize Canada had an army. I flipped through faster, trying to figure out just how that had happened. That one has a boring end. I jolted up at the sudden voice and turned to the woman who appeared beside me. She offered me a smile. Canada took Alaska by being kind. Pretty easy to figure out, really. How they did it is still quite the mystery. We have historians going on missions trying to figure that out right now. Oh, I see. You may be more interested in this one. She handed me a shiny red and white book, then took the one about Alaska out of my hand and put it away in the proper place. Thank you. Of course. She walked away as quietly as she came, and I stared down at the book she handed me. It didn't have a title, and I grew curious. I flipped the hardcover page open and read the first few words that were printed inside. The Great Pokemon War. What? I decided to search for a place to look and stepped out of the aisle. Luckily, there were small tables and chairs at the near end of the library, and I took a seat. As I read through the book, I had to continuously remind myself that it was actual history and not some bad fan fiction. In the year 2030, scientists in Japan had found a way to create real Pokemon, but it quickly turned very bad. People were quitting their jobs to become trainers, the economy crashed, the Pokemon themselves were very dangerous, and eventually the psychic type grew to be more intelligent than humans themselves. Oh god. An uprising started and caused a war between humans and Pokemon. Apparently, a few Pokemon are still rumored to be lurking around the different corners of the earth, but the majority of them were destroyed. The Great Pokemon War of 2030. I had to stop myself from laughing. I stood from my chair and returned the book to the librarian. But when I turned to go back to the table, another book was sitting there. Maybe they had a delivery system of books they thought people would like. I walked back to the table and stared down at the cover. It was an older-looking book titled Past Trials, and when I flipped the front cover over, it read Property of the Head Historian. Was it Cecilia's? Shoot, it's left here. Read it. I couldn't contain my curiosity. I bit my lip and thumbed through the first few pages. On each page was a name, followed by 2 dates and notes from their trial. Elvis Presley, age 16, 1977, age 16, 2060. Musical talent, unheard of in this time, past. Wait, Elvis is here? Leah. Wait, is this Princess Leia? 7/15/2015, 7/15/2062, writing many writers in this time. Oh, no, it's not. Failed. I gulped. Men, 10/25/2015 to 10/25/2063. Artists' art can be automated and is unneeded. Failed. Failed. Wait, so the only one that passed was Elvis Presley? As I read through the pages, only 1 out of every 10 or so had passed the trial. My mind started to race. There was no way I could pass. Even if nobody nowadays cooks, they don't even like food. I'm not that good of a chef. There was no way. No way. Riley? Uh-oh. I nearly jumped out of my skin at the sound of Cecilia's calm voice. I'm so sorry. If that were true, then you wouldn't have done it in the first place. I'm not sorry. Why would I say sorry? It was here, on my table. Are you content with what you found? I closed the book gently and gulped, unable to look up from the table. No. I did tell you that few passed. Cecilia grabs her book from under my hand and turns to walk away. Your trial has been arranged for the near end of the month. Have a good day, Riley. You too. I bit my lip. Did she leave it there for me to find? Was she already testing me? I let out a heavy sigh and ran my hands through my hair. Riles! There you are! I was curious though, so I don't care if I get a bad or good ending here. I looked up and saw Max walking over to the table I was standing beside. She stretched out and let out a short yawn. Sorry it took so long. Cecilia gave me extra missions today. She rolled her eyes and gave me a friendly smile. How was work? It was work, she shrugged. How was the library? Interesting. Was there really a Pokemon War? Max laughed loudly and a shh sounded from behind the librarian's desk. So you read that one? The librarian gave it to me. Well, it really happened. You ready to get out of here? I sure am. I nodded and gave her a small smile. Yeah, let's go. In one smooth movement, Max stepped backwards and turned onto her heel. Oh, and this is where we are going to stop for today's episode. That's quite a shook. That the only person that actually passed was Elvis from what she showed us. So that's insane. I would have no talent either. I would probably be sent back and just have to face my death. That would be so horrible. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in